Hello everyone. So today I want to talk about fake news, about some different ways that'll make it easier for you to know whether something is credible or whether they're just trying to get into your minds and your pockets. So the first tip that I want to talk about is we should think about, what is this study trying to say? What is the conclusion that they're trying to get you to draw from this? Are they just trying to grab your attention and get a shock value out of you? That's one of the first bad signs that you're probably looking at fake news supported by mediocre or just plain bad science. So now on to tip number 2. The next thing that you should be looking at is, how was this research designed? How did they do it? So the most important thing that we want to look at was this done randomly? Did they select people randomly from the population that they're representing in the study? Did each person have an equal chance of being chosen? Another thing that you want to look for is there a control group? Is there a group that's not receiving the treatment or is getting a placebo drug, which can take away other variables so you know what somebody not taking the test would do, or somebody that thinks they're taking the test. Another thing that you want to look for to see if the study was properly designed is the sample size, the number of people that actually participated in this study. Any study that has a small sample size, like less than 20 people, is not going to have reliable results. The next thing that I want to talk about is the language that they're using in the study. For instance, are they using really overcomplicated scientific terms that most people would have no idea what they're talking about? So the next part of language that I want you to watch out for is words like "it may do something" or "it could do something up to a point." Those usually mean that more scientific research is needed to actually prove the conclusion. So number 5 is looking out for the wording "scientifically proven." So that saying in itself is literally not even the definition of science. Science is testing a hypothesis, an idea that something might happen, and gaining evidence to prove that theory, and then having other scientists also do research to see if the evidence that you have gathered can prove the hypothesis, in which case it becomes a theory, but nothing. So the next thing to look out for is, has this research been peer reviewed? Did other scientists that are in the same field look at this work? Did they look for bias? Did they critique it? Did they see if there was any errors? And then, did they determine if it was something that was worth publishing, or maybe this should be rejected? So this next one is a huge one. Where did this research come from? It must have came from somewhere. So are there citations throughout the article that are specific to the exact research study that they're using to prove their hypothesis? Is there a bibliography at the end that shows that the people that did this research are actually experts in their field and qualified to have done these studies and come to these conclusions? So because the journal industry has become so huge, you really want to take into account who paid for this research. Was there a pharmaceutical company that paid a set of scientists a certain amount to maybe come to a certain conclusion? So you want to look at who financed the research and did they have anything to gain by that scientist coming to the conclusion that they came to. So this is the age of technology. The internet is everywhere, and it is an amazing resource for being able to find information. But it's also very easy for anyone to post just about anything on the internet. So bad news can have very terrifying and catastrophic effects on people. A perfect example of this is the Wakefield study that was done, and it reported that the MMR vaccine was causing autism. This research caused thousands of physicians and parents to not vaccinate their children, which caused a huge spread of disease in the United States and Europe. And later, they proved with multiple studies that the information was incorrect, but the damage had already been done and is still happening to this day. And if you would use some of the tips to look at the research, you would have seen that the sample size was really small, only 12 people. There was also no other research done to support it. There was no peer reviews done. And the research was actually funded by a company who had things to gain by these diseases spreading. Thanks everybody for watching this video. I hope that it's been helpful, and I'm gonna leave you with a few resources that you can use to find credible scientific journals so that you can research for yourself what is fake news and what is real.